As a marketer myself and a professor in marketing, I think my big, most important advice to my student is to stay relevant because there is a lot of changes in this field, and especially this field is driven by innovation and technology.
I think the core aspect is to go to first principles and try to figure out how best you can add value in a new and innovative and disruptive way rather than only just look at the tried and tested. See movies, read books, go to museums, understand ChatGPT.
I think for students, get hands-on. So a lot of the times when we learn theoretically, so that's very important, but we also learn through hands-on and practice. And I think the marriage of the two is the most beautiful thing. So when you can teach a student to look theoretically through a lens, but also when they can get down and dirty, do that thing and actually experience it for themselves, that's always going to help them.
But the issue for the marketing students is always going to be, do I really understand what a target market is? Understanding that if we don't get inside the head of consumers and our target audience, we'll not be successful. I am a researcher, so my concern is always going to be, what is the theory underlying whatever I'm looking at? Because part of the issue is, we still have to find the gap in the literature to find out what needs to be studied at this point. But we at the same time also have to understand, how is this practically going to be of use? Because if we can't help marketers, if we can't help companies at this point, there's no need for marketing education. We go away.
I would advise the students one thing first, to understand the concept of psychology of your consumers, that is positioning and strengthening of your consumers, understand their culture first, and then before launching your product into the market or before opening your brand advertisement campaign into the market, try to understand consumers' behavior, what they are actually looking forward. If you could understand their emotions, if you could understand their culture, if you could understand their value towards the product, then it would be very easy for you to connect with the brand or to connect your brand with the consumers in a very positive way.
From my own experience, it's very important to choose some topic that you actually like and care about. Not only just because AI is trendy, okay, let's do something with AI. No, AI is important, but maybe you can also focus on other topics that are within the UN objectives, such as, for example, sustainability, which is also really important, really pressing topic nowadays. I think there are a lot of different topics that you can focus on. Although, like I said, you cannot completely ignore that technology is going to be there. It's going to be evolving much further. So
you can learn how to be good at marketing, but you can't learn how to be a hard worker. That has to come from within inside of you. And anybody that's willing to work hard can learn how to be a good marketer. You know, I'm not the smartest person in the discipline, but no one is going to outwork me. And if you work hard and you persevere, you will succeed in this business.
Well, I think, always keep a very close relationships with industry, always knowing what is happening. So don't only focus on the theoretical part, but consider yourself as a consumer.
Most people will answer you, go for new technologies, go for new trends. I am telling you my view, and my view is that trends will change. What is a trend today is going to be old news in 3 years. However, if you haven't developed your brain to think strategically, you will not be able to identify these trends and work with them in the long run. So as you are studying, make sure that you develop your thinking processes, your critical thinking, your strategic thinking. These are the skills that will help you in the long run.
Number one, if you are looking for a PhD project, you should follow your own interest. To the extent that you are doing this for a number of years, depending on the system, between 3 and 6 years. So you better really, really like what you're doing, because if somebody else, if a supervisor tells you, you do that, and you're unhappy with that, that's really, really bad. But also you should not lose your connection to industry and to the world around you. Try and always make sure that what you're doing is actually of interest, not only to you, but also to industry, also to other people, and it's of relevance.
So it's all about opening your eyes and looking to the trends and see how can you be useful with the new tools that you have got available. people who are looking and preparing for a career, but that career may not be available in the future, but other careers will be available. So for example, years ago, nobody knew about what we call now social media management. Nobody would know how to manage artificial intelligence and support the machine learning and train ChatGPT and all of these things. So it's really about being open-minded and understand what's happening down the line and come forward and create value early on.
The best thing to do if you're starting out would be to not get caught up in fads, in the sense that there's new things pop up every single day, and like it's probably better to have a core competency regarding more established stuff and then kind of branch out to what are the new things that are going on. Because there's always this temptation to jump on the bandwagon of the newest stuff. So that's something that I would advise starting marketing students to be wary of.
I would tell them to first get away of some stereotypes that people have about marketing. So because marketing is usually considered only sales, but before everything, so marketing is actually about understanding people. So the more we understand people, and this is the most important, the more we know about marketing. So students, they need to get off this idea that marketing is only about profit, it's only about selling, and understand marketing in a broader sense.
I would advise them to be up to date with what is coming out in the literature, to come to conferences, talk to people, but also go to the streets, observe consumers, see what is going on.
Be curious, read a lot, and I'm not saying read a lot of literature or read many marketing books, but read newspapers, try to always be on track. Marketing professionals of the future will be people that are first and foremost creative and that are able to intercept new trends before others can do that.